Rosco, and welcome to EV Marketplace on a Wednesday night. If it's 7 o'clock now on a Wednesday night, it's got to be EV night. I'm sure Ludicrous Feed's joining you later on tonight to complete your EV Wednesday. But look, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube live, thanks for joining us. Already in the house, we've got a couple. Joe, maybe still in China. Joe, he's got the internet going in China, and we've got a couple of guests on already in the house coming up. But well, what a night we've got tonight, because we're talking to Stan from Kangaroo Island. He's already back from his 5-week epic trip, ZEEKR big lap around Australia. You might have seen plenty on Stan's channels around Facebook, on YouTube as well, but we thought we'd do a wrap up with him. He's back home in Kangaroo Island. I think he should be the ambassador of Kangaroo Island. He's put Kangaroo Island on the map amongst the EV community, but he's done his lap. We're going to run through some of the stats. If anyone's interested in doing that trip, this is a great expose on what he's done. So we'll be chatting to Stan very shortly. We've got breaking EV news, and there's plenty of it this week. We've got updates from Amazing EV, of course, our EV marketplace. If you've got to sell, or you want to sell, or you need to sell, happy to help you out with a free coupon and get the message out there. And if you're looking to buy, there's plenty of used EVs. They're back out there. The prices are getting better. Keep an eye out, and we'll show you some of those deals a bit later on as well. And then rounding out the show a bit later on, we've got Mark, who's joined us. He's got his own YouTube channel as well. He's bought an Aion, not Aion, but Aion UT, one of those beautiful little little EVs that we're looking for, that we're waiting to come to the market. We're going to chat to him about his experience buying that, owning it, why he chose the Aion UT. I love it. I've seen a few around. You might have as well. And can't wait to have a chat to Mark later on the show. But I've got Stan standing by back at home in South Australia, back in Kangaroo Island. Stan, good to see you again. How's things?
Hey, Rosco, how viewers? Yeah, good. It's always good to be back home. But I do miss the road, and sometimes it feels like it was just a dream. But
I know, it's amazing. I can't believe it. You're back in Kangaroo Island. That's back near Adelaide. If anyone doesn't know where Kangaroo Island is now, they after following your journey on Facebook, and really appreciated all your live updates and all your blogs and all the work you put in posting around as you travel around Australia, because you put some incredible places on the map, not just for the EV community, but for everybody, right? So really fascinating from my perspective, following it around, going some places that maybe it could be a bit of a challenge for most people. But I thought, let's catch up and dig in some of the details of what you achieved and how you did it. Maybe those people watching might be interested in following. And we've got the map here, which... So you started off in South Australia, in Kangaroo Island, right down the bottom there. And which way did you go? What happened next?
So I did it counterclockwise this time up the East Coast. Well, I did the Great Ocean Road first, then through Mornington Peninsula, Gippsland, up to see my family in the south coast of New South Wales, and all the way up the East Coast to Cairns. A lot of people turn west at Townsville. That's the main normal way of going. But this time I added on the extra challenge of going across Cape York to Karumba up there. That's on the Gulf of Carpentaria on the inside. And I'll just keep going now, I guess. Then down to Mount Isa, across the Northern Territory, into the Northern Territory, Barclay Homestead, up to Catherine. Then you kind of have to do a little dog leg up to Darwin, because it's not directly on the so back and forth there. Then across the rest of the Northern Territory, through Kununurra, through the Kimberleys, then Broome, and then down the west coast, Carnarvon, Geraldton, Perth. And then this time I decided to do the southwest as well. So I went down through Bunbury, Bridgetown, Denmark, Esperance, and then back across the Nullarbor. It
is absolutely amazing. How many weeks? How many nights?
So it was 36 days, and 15,400 kilometers. I mean, so about the same time I was doing my lap, Harold did it in his Model Y in 10 days, which is just insane. So that kind of equaled his record, but. Harold's not a normal person, but I at least, like, I didn't do that much sightseeing either, but Yeah, because the days were really short, so that's something I didn't factor in, was because
Yeah.
it's winter, the days were short, so I could really only do 500, 600 Ks a day, sometimes 800, but that was plenty. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's charging stops along all the way, and these spots that I visited are like the main clutch spots that you
Yeah.
need to make it across the top. So,
And and of course it was you and Twiggy. You had a trusty companion on the way as well. How was it living in the ZEEKR? So it's a ZEEKR 7X. So shout out to ZEEKR. Stan bought a ZEEKR 7X not long ago and decided to set off on this journey to give it a bit of a test. Is it mostly sealed roads for a start?
yeah, so all sealed roads,
Okay.
except when I went across the top there at Cape York, they the roads like have one lane in the middle and then there's dirt on either side. So
Yeah.
there's if there's a truck or a car coming, you kind of have to. I was just pulled straight over
Yeah.
and let them stick to the bitumen because I didn't want the rock spraying
Yeah.
on my
And
windscreen. But I did actually go through 2 windscreens, so the car was perfect. The 7X
yeah.
was really comfortable to sleep in. So I slept in it pretty much 20 out of the 36 nights.
There's it's got a massive sunroof. So again, that must be nice
Yeah.
at night time as well. It must maybe not as claustrophobic as people might imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nice. Got camping mode, so it keeps the aircon on all night, which is clutch, really important. And then it's got nice ambient lighting and pretty
Yeah.
comfortable place to be. It also has vehicle to load, so I cooked a steak along the way. uh,
I was going to put up one of the Vita L with the Vita barbecue, but I didn't put that one up. But so that was
yeah, no,
pretty
it's pretty
comfortable.
pretty versatile vehicle and plenty of space for me and Twig, my
How
loyal
many how many
co-driver. So,
nights how many nights again sleeping in the car? Yeah.
I did work out. Well, I charged at caravan parks 20 times.
Yeah.
Out of the 36. There were a couple of other times that I did sleep in the car and didn't charge. So it might have even been more like 25 out of the
Yeah.
36. I only spent, I think, 5 nights in hotels. And then I did have the tent out 4 or 5 times as well. So it was kind of a combination of sleeping in the car at caravan parks or at truck stops, or just, yeah, in the tent and or in hotels.
And so, yeah, like charging is obviously the biggest challenge, right? But either trying to find fast chargers, and here's a spot here that look at that massive solar array there. Whereabouts was this one?
So that's Barclay Homestead, and as you go into the Northern Territory from Queensland, it's completely off the grid. That's like the longest stretch with no charges. So you have to charge at that roadhouse at the
Yeah,
caravan park. You don't have to. There's been cars that have gone, like, as long as you've got like about 500 k's range, you should be
yeah,
right. But
yeah. That looks like a long straight road in and out, right? Yeah,
yeah, that's one of the most isolated. I mean, even for petrol cars, right?
mm,
So I did rock up there half an hour too late to get the last powered site, so I just spent an extra day. But I didn't mind because it was a nice place
yeah.
to hang out. They've got really good food. They got like a pool. They had guinea fowl walking around.
And
Lots
that's
of bird life.
that's just across the Queensland Northern Territory border, just on that on that.
Yes, Barclay Homestead. That's the one. Yeah. So there's a couple of those, and then like across the Kimberleys as well. That's definitely clutch. You need those. I keep saying that word, but you need them because there's nothing else basically. But the charging in all the rest of all of the other states is really pretty good.
Yeah,
That's the other solar powered one. That's at Negumban Cliffs in the Kimberley. So that one's really crucial because unfortunately the chargers in the main towns of Fitzroy and Halls Creek are smashed. So uh, that one kind of helps, and then you pull into Fitzroy Crossing and charge up at the Lodge Caravan Park overnight. So that's probably the biggest challenges. And then the Nullarbor was a bit of a challenge this time because some of the charges were playing up.
yeah, okay.
But
And this one we're
I do
looking at
always
now, whereabouts was that one?
that's Negumban Cliffs.
Mm.
So that's halfway between Fitzroy Crossing and Halls Creek. So it's basically the Kimberley
in the middle.
halfway through the Kimberley, which is the northwestern Western Australia.
And that, what is that? How's this one working? That's solar, obviously. And then what are the two white boxes
Yeah, so
there?
that's it's a big solar array. It's off the road,
Mm,
like in a parking area, so that's
yeah,
good because it doesn't get a lot of attention.
yeah,
Um, and there's just an old, so those are big solar arrays. Then they feed that big white box, which is a
yeah,
battery,
yeah,
3 batteries, and that's probably enough to charge 2 or 3 cars.
yeah,
And then the smaller white box is a diesel generator. So if for whatever reason 3 cars came along and drained the battery, the diesel generator is supposed to kick in. That's never happened to me at this
yeah.
particular charger. It
That's good.
has at others, but yeah. So that's kind of how it works. And yeah, it probably only gets a car, really, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, if that. So
Yeah, okay.
especially in the wet season, probably less than that. But
How
yeah.
far from
Anyways,
anywhere is this one? Like how far to get here, and then how far to the next one?
So I think I drove like 370 or 380 kilometers
Yeah,
from Warman, which is south of Kununurra, to get there. And then once I got there, there was another 100 k's to Fitzroy Crossing. So I think I got there with enough to make it to Fitzroy Crossing with like
yeah,
single digits, but
yeah,
I just because I hypermile, which means in long stretches like that, I go like about 90 k's, and then
yeah,
that means that even if I get to that charge and it doesn't work, I could always get to or try and get to the
yeah.
next one regardless. So
You get,
that saved me in the Nullarbor again, because there was another one where I rocked up and there were 2 BYDs charging, and they were relatively novice and they hadn't figured out that they could have used the AC charger
yeah,
and or even just the campground chargers and got more than the 2
mm,
kilowatts they were getting out of the charger. So anyway, but yeah, there's just different strategies and things like that. Always be charging is
yeah.
true. So
And that's a great opportunity to see some people around. There's another one of you entering the Tropic of Capricorn. So everything just looks so far and flat and a long way away. So you must enjoy the driving. Do you enjoy the driving? Mm,
yeah, I mean it's really nice
mm,
car to drive with 650 horsepower and air suspension. So it's
yeah,
pretty much the perfect long road tripping car, I reckon. But yeah, I just love seeing the landscape
yeah,
unfold in front of me, and to
mm,
go from like rainforest to desert in one day, or like the desert down to like farmland on the west coast in 1 or 2 days. Yeah, it's pretty amazing thing to witness. And I didn't do a lot of sightseeing, but I had the dog with me, and it's mainly whatever I saw at the windshield was what I
yeah.
saw. But that's still a lot. So yeah,
It's amazing, and seeing some of the people on the way. We've got the guys from This Stellar Life on the show tonight as well, watching. They give a shout out. So yeah, it's all those experiences, catching up with people as you go around the country as well. And you had a lot of
yeah, that
meetups and
was
met lots of people with EVs. Yeah,
definitely one of the highlights. I know we tried to meet up Rosco, but just couldn't make ships cross in the night. But I did catch up with Nirav and uh, do a bit of a video with him, and then also Brandy from Stellar Life,
yeah,
and then the AIVA people in Perth
yeah,
and Darwin, and then just random people that I did have a
mm.
few people come up to me that just recognised me from the channel or from Facebook, which was
Oh, that's cool. I
amazing.
know
So
it's
that was
cool. It was everywhere. And Joe, and you saw Joe up, and Joe's on the line. He's on the line from China. You saw Joe before he went. Yeah. So
yeah, Joe, and there was I don't know 7 or 8 of them
yeah,
in the basement of the Ridges Hotel checking out the ZEEKR. So that was a cool experience.
yeah,
And yeah, the one in WA did this on the Swan River was just as nice. So
yeah.
very, very fun times.
And
Yeah.
you got some great support from ZEEKR, obviously. But how you've come out of a Polestar 2 and into the ZEEKR 7X, and how did you find it generally? You've done both trips back to back in two different cars now. Mm.
Yeah. So that's according to the Tesla Owners Club of WA. This was the 70th lap. And my first one, I was the 41st to do it in the Polestar 2. And so apparently I'm the only one that's done it in multiple cars, multiple brands.
Okay.
And I'm one of only 3 that have done it more than once. So like
That's amazing. That
Harold's
is
done it.
amazing.
Yeah, he's
That
done it
is
2 other
amazing.
first. Mm.
We were talking earlier about some of your next thoughts and some of the other different variations of which way you can go around. So what else can you do?
You can do a figure of eight, which is just looping through the middle there. I missed out on doing Tasmania. Last time I did it, I
Yeah.
went straight down to Tasmania
Uh,
after a
we'll,
couple of
we'll,
weeks. But that's my next trip as soon as the new ferries start running. And then also I want to go up straight through Alice Springs and see Uluru, back up to Darwin. So I'll probably do
yeah.
that next winter, I think.
We'll get into trouble because we've left Tasmania off the map.
Yeah, I know. I
That's right.
included it last
Apologies,
time, but
anyone from Tasmania watching.
yeah,
Completely unintentional. We really, but it was. We didn't. It didn't form part of the route this time, but we do acknowledge it's still part of Australia's. So you can do a
yeah.
figure eight. You can go down the middle, up the middle. Any advice to anybody that's looking to do this sort of trip?
Yeah, so from experience of running into people that were having a few troubles, is take all the cables.
Yeah,
So have an AC cable, have the 15 amp. Certain places up the very top, the 5-pin adapter charger is key as well. Though you don't really need that for daily driving,
yeah,
but up there where you can charge at showgrounds and things like that, it's good. And then what else? Yeah, make sure you've either got a Telstra SIM or a Telstra phone, because
yeah,
if you're relying on some of the other mobile coverage, it's not as good
yeah,
in a lot of the regional areas. And then other things just like uh, have like a two-way radio, a
yeah,
personal EPIRB, Starlink satellite, so all that kind of stuff. But I've never had any trouble. Went completely smooth. I had a spare tire, a
yeah.
full-size spare
I was
tire.
I was going to say, did you take it? You took a full size spare.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I took the Space Saver last time. At this time, I just thought
Yeah,
there's a nice spot in the back of the ZEEKR where it fits, and I could still sleep in the back there and didn't have to tear anything apart. So
yeah. You don't want to be pulling it all apart. So
it
it's
did feel good taking it out after not having to use it.
yeah,
But the whole trip, I mean, I don't know, like having done it twice now, I've been relatively lucky in terms of like,
yeah,
I mean, I had some close calls with kangaroos and other things as well, but
yeah,
I survived it all. So it's a good feeling to make it back in one piece, you know. But yeah, no flats or anything like that, just a broken windshield,
Mm.
which I had repaired. And
I was going to
but
say, yeah. Do you have any damage to the car? Yeah,
no, there's a few stone chips and things
yeah,
like that I'm going to be getting looked at. I got the smash and
mm.
dent repair package thing, so I'm going to take advantage of that, and it's due for its first 20,000 kilometer service. Although that first 20,000 k is only a voluntary, and I think it's a free service.
Yeah,
And then the first one's at 40,000. But I'm going to have them look at it, just because. Although I do think the highway miles is less stressful on a car than
yeah,
doing stop and start through the city kind of thing, because it's just
yeah.
sitting there on the highway.
That's
And it wasn't. We haven't really spoken about it, but the charging. So
efficiency.
I did. Well, efficiency, and also just the amount of fast charging versus slow charging.
Yeah,
So I fast charged only 27 times on that whole lap, and that cost me $580,
mm.
which is pretty amazing. And then there was some 22 kilowatt. So all up was like $680 that I paid for charging
yeah,
specifically, and then the rest of it was just camping and charging on the 15 amp caravan parks.
yeah.
So they don't charge you anything extra for that. There's been a lot of debate as to whether that's allowed or anything, but I've never had anyone tell me not to do it or whatever. So
No.
especially up north there, I think they know that it's like really like if you can't plug your car in, you're basically stuck there. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh, they realise that. That's only a very few. That's like Barclay Homestead and Fitzroy
yeah,
Crossing, those kind of places. But anyway, my point is that it didn't really cost very much.
yeah.
So,
It's
uh, I
unbelievable.
mean,
And
and the
you
car was
and you,
relatively
you
efficient for being such a big lump. But
and you did over 1,500 kilometers in 36 days. So doing it in 10 days is
15, yeah,
absolutely unbelievable.
15,400. Yeah, no, very happy with it. I know that if I stuck between 85 and 90, I could get 600 Ks
Yeah.
coasting along. So that is a good feeling. But there's other people that have done it in base MGs and Konas and things like that. So you don't need a huge battery as long as you
Yeah.
can do about 300 Ks. You're right.
Absolutely amazing, Stan. And now you've got to stay home, do some work. What's your day job? For anyone that doesn't doesn't know you by now, give Kangaroo Island another plug, will you? It's I think
Yeah. Well,
you should
if
be
you
ambassador. You should be chairman of tourism.
if, if you do the lap of Australia, you should have to do a lap of Tasmania and a lap of Kangaroo Island, I reckon.
We've got Travel in
So, yeah.
Tasmania are on. They're not happy about being left off the
I'll
they're
have
not
to make
happy
a
about
special
being
trip.
left off.
Yeah,
We
I
have got
know.
someone from Tasmania watching. They're not happy. So
Yeah, I've got a few Tassie fans, so
yeah,
I definitely plan to go there. It's the next spot I want to go. So,
all right.
but I'm the journalist for the Islander newspaper, so it's a matter of finding time off
Yeah,
work to do it. So, I just booked the ferry again next week, going to Adelaide to the launching of the new ferry.
yeah.
So I'll be maybe putting that up in an episode
Mm.
and crossing the strait and the
And
cars.
we won't see it everything electric this year, unfortunately. So
I'm not 100% ruling it out, but
okay, oh, good.
I might just suddenly decide to go. But it's September, right?
Yeah. I'm just about to do a lead in. We're just about to do a lead into it. So I'm giving everyone a quick reminder. Wow, with this message here. So yeah. So
All right.
thanks,
Nice to
Stan.
chat, Rosco.
Any final advice for anyone that's wanting to do this magnificent trip? I just want to do a bit of a wrap up. We really appreciated your live covers. You know, they were cool. Just a nice walk around, bit of casual, some catch up, give people a chance to have a chat and see where you were. They were really cool. We appreciate you catching up with us when we were on there on Wednesdays. We did it a couple of times under some trying circumstances. So,
Yeah, that was a relatively stressful time because when I was having trouble finding accommodation. But no, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to live stream on that.
yeah,
And yeah, it was fun doing the daily vlog and doing videos every day.
yeah,
It was like that was a fair bit of work, but
it was cool. Yeah, thanks,
yeah, it was
Dan.
cool. Thank you so much, and
Look
thanks for
forward to
following.
seeing you.
And I guess just
Hopefully, everything electric.
yeah, if you are going to go out there, just plan it
Yeah.
and just make sure you plug share,
Mm.
plan it, plug share, and then have a good route planner, like a better route
Where
planner.
is Twiggy close by? Can Twiggy say goodbye before
Twiggy,
we
come
go?
here, Twiggy. There she is.
There she is. Good man. She's happy to
Come
be
here.
home. She enjoyed it.
Yeah, she had a great time. Yeah.
Can she bark on?
Number one
Can she bark?
co-driver.
Can she bark or not? So,
Twiggy bark, see?
yeah. Thanks, Stan.
All right.
See ya. That was Stan from Kangaroo Island TV, and Twiggy, of course, is back from their trip around Australia. Just, it rolls off the tongue pretty easily, but it's a phenomenal trip. I suggested to Stan that he might be here for Everything Electric, which just leads me into our catch up. We'll be there, Mrs. Amazing and I. It's the 18th to the 20th of September. It's only 7 weeks away now. They're getting primed up for it now. Elliot's going to be there. Sarah's going to be there. Everyone's going to be there. Dan's going to be there. Tom's going to be leading it. I think there's a few more YouTubers going to be there as well presenting. We'll be there for sure covering it. Can't wait. And if you want some tickets, there's a link down below. We've got a 20% discount. Amazing EV. If you use that coupon, you can get a ticket. It won't be far away. So we're just about to get to Mark in a few minutes now, but I've got some breaking news, of course, and it's a pity Hal's not here because it's all about Xpeng tonight. And well, what else will we be talking about except talking about breaking news? Xpeng has been leading the news this week in many ways. It's been leading the news maybe for a lack of cars sales in the last couple of years. They promised so much, but now there's so much happened this week. News we've seen out, both events and news about True EV and the new dealership, Xpeng Australia and New Zealand. They've formally taken over. They had a big day yesterday, big product launch day yesterday, but going back track and starting with the Xpeng news that we've seen most of the major publications, thanks to Drive, thanks to Car Expert, all covered this week. Xpeng distributor TrueEV finally calls it quits. Sure, they're heading back at the Chinese brand, but yeah, it looks like they've finally, and I think they were plans for them to, according to some of the media, that were plans for them to actually go in, well, maybe in parallel, in tandem, and offer either Xpeng or another brand. But I think all that's fallen apart now. It seems fair and square now that it will just be Xpeng corporate that's going to be leading the way. They've thrown in the towel. I think the court case is still pending. We haven't had a lot of information about that, whether they're still pursuing that. Some rumours that we've seen suggest that it's in October this year, that they're still going to be having their day in court in relation to that agreement falling apart. But certainly the main news this week was out of Xpeng in Melbourne in the last couple of days, and care of Ludicrous feed, Tom, I just borrowed this bit of this clip about what they presented in the last couple of days, and a fantastic plan from Xpeng to really launch and relaunch in Australia, which is really impressive. So we've relied on the G6 and the latest revised G6, but they've got so much on offer now. 5 cars in 6 months is what Xpeng now are promising. So it is going to be magnificent to see them finally get their heels and get their straps and get racing, and because there's a bit of catch up to do. New dealerships, new workshops, new service. It certainly is going to be a bit of a change from what they had. And again, not maybe everybody's happy in the whole scheme of things. And we are acknowledging that, and this through this article at Car Expert, we're acknowledging that, yeah, there was a lot of contention and quite a few unhappy customers, and we hear you. And here's Hal. Thanks for joining us, Hal. We're just in time for the Xpeng news, which is featuring big time tonight. Plenty on all fronts. Following the news from Car Expert, they might have an inside, and some of the news that we've seen is that BYD corporate are honouring some of the $5,000 cashbacks which people had claimed, right? So I think on a case-by-case basis, from what we're hearing and what we're reading, they are acknowledging some of those cashbacks on a claim-by-claim basis. So for those people that bought an Xpeng under TrueEV, it looks like there might be some compensation or some recourse in relation to those cashbacks. So maybe some good news. And yeah, I haven't got that confirmed yet. It looks like the TrueEV focus, the new focus, is definitely on commitment and product and technology and customer support. There's no doubt they know they've got a lot of work to do in catching up. But this main mantra and the big message in an event that was in Melbourne, which a lot of coverage on a lot of other YouTube channels coming out, was these 5 cars in 6 months. Again, the G6, the new G6. We've all heard about the X9 as well. And there was a press release that came out that we received about the X9. And you'll see a lot about that. Luxury people mover, really nice looking car. Details in terms of very competitive pricing, 90 grand for the rear wheel drive model, including on-road costs. So phenomenal looking car by the looks of things. And you might have seen this one floated around already. That's coming very shortly as part of their major plans. So that one's on the way. Details confirmed. That'll be on their website as well. So that gives them 2 models. Then they're also looking at the LO3, which has been featured pretty heavily on the media more recently as well. Confirmation that that's coming. Then a G9L, then an LO5. So 5 models coming in the next 6 months. So they're going gangbusters. And one of the messages out of their presentation yesterday was that we'll get models straight after China gets them. So they're trying to hit some of the serious issues straight on the head. Customer service, making or ensuring that we get the latest model here. No doubt that they've got a lot of work to do, but they're trying hard to ensure that our model range reflects China's straight away, so that we don't get left behind. Our model range is more than 1 car more than the G6. So exciting times for Xpeng as they finally get their act together. Stands back online. Thanks, guys. Exciting times, and a bit of sadly, it doesn't look like it. One of the ones I liked the most, that P7, was featured in that lineup. Love to see this P7. That disappointingly did not seem to appear in their lineup. Love to see that. But yeah, you'll see a lot of news coverage. Other guys covering that. We also noted I think this Cars Guide had a scoop on the LO3, and there's been quite a few shots of that as they've driven that in China, but that one's here in Australia. And then the Xpeng, another Xpeng hatchback. So there was a couple of models there that they did not release data on. So there was a bit of scoop action here from Cars Guide that we picked up. That's all we've seen so far. And they weren't revealed at the show the other night. So you'll see a bit more of this. Plenty of guys. Tom's got some great coverage of that. Shout out. I borrowed some of his footage to intro that, but no doubt he'll cover that later tonight as well. And this is the back of the Xpeng G9L, and I don't have details on the sizing or what they look like, but definitely a lot of Xpeng action in the future. Finally, they're getting their act together, and that is great to see. But that wasn't all. We saw that was not all, because there was another brand that hit the markets not so long ago, the Lepus, and that was another Chery brand, again, along with JQ and the Amoda, which I've heard some comments about. So plenty of action on the new car front. This one came out a couple of weeks ago, the Lepus. Really nice looking car, but another brand from Chery. No details on exact size, but this was another update on our news wire that gave us more information about this one being tuned specifically for Australian roads, which again clearly is a real big deal. They're trying to make sure that these cars are Australian road ready in terms of suspension and tested here so that people know that they are going to get something. So look, another brand, another Chery brand, big deal. There's plenty coming. And then look, hidden in the news, but again, you had to dig right down into the fine print on this one, was the Range Rover GT. And you would have, again, do we need another Range Rover? Looks a bit like a Valorish, but this is in camo. This is not a paint job. It's in camo. Amazing thing about this is that they really hid that right in the fine print of a press release, which was really about the launch of this new car, about their commitment to Range Rover customer, and about the type of cars they're building, and another prototype. But you had to get right into the fine print that the Range Rover GT will be a first all-electric Range Rover. So amazingly, they buried that. Their first news about being a Range Rover producing an EV, yes, as well as an ICE and a hybrid model, but one might have thought and hoped that Range Rover, the owner of Tata's their owner, the owner of Jaguar as well, one might have hoped that they would have been shouting to the ceiling about their first EV, but no, it's hidden in the fine print. But interesting looking car. It's had a bit of commentary on the interior. A little bit too Chinese. Some people have called it a little bit too simplistic, gone too far. Of course, it's going to be made in China. But look, can't wait to see more from Range Rover. But sometimes, maybe, again, too little, too late. Maybe not for Range Rover customers. So plenty happening there. No doubt we'll see more of that. And that's been breaking EV news. There's no doubt. There's plenty of it. There's always plenty of EV news. We get plenty. And but stay with us. We're just about coming up over the halfway mark. I've got Mark waiting in the wings. We're going to go to a short ad break with some of the cars that we've got. An amazing EV. We'll come back and we'll chat to Mark about owning an Aion UT. Mark, good evening. Welcome to EV Marketplace on a Wednesday night.
Good evening, Rosco, and the women and children at home.
Thanks for waiting in the
All
wings.
trips paid.
Big night tonight, and catching up with Stan beforehand. And look, plenty of news on the Xpeng front. I couldn't ignore it. But yeah, what did you think of that new Jag? Did you see that one? Or their new Range Rover? Did you see that one?
No, I think you described it well. I think, do we really need another range? And if they're not proud of it, why should we care?
Yeah,
Not to have a hot
exactly,
take.
exactly. Hey, thanks for joining us. And we start off as a brand new owner of a brand new EV and a brand new brand to Australia. In the EV space, we start off and we normally ask our guests, what was your EV aha moment? When did it actually sort of make sense to you that EVs were going to be the future?
Yeah, well, I was in my mid-20s. I was teaching English in China. I was there for a couple of years. And even back then, even, a dozen years ago, that still feels like the future. I can't imagine what it's like now, but ubiquitous personal electric transit,
Yeah,
extension cords out of third or fourth story windows to charge
yeah,
scooters on the ground, and just being in a city teeming with people, and yet no sound,
yeah,
no tailpipe emissions. It was great. It was freedom, and it felt like how it should be.
yeah,
And then to come back to the West after that
yeah.
felt very much like going back in time. So an early Eureka moment.
Which was the other way around. Yeah, which was everyone's perception was it was the other way around, right?
Yeah, that China was rushing into car ownership, and definitely when
Yeah,
I was there was, you're starting to see more petrol cars on the road, and it was like a whale shark
yeah,
moving through a school of fish. They'd
yeah,
have to move slowly and very deliberately, and everyone would kind of just go around them. But even while I was there, I was seeing all the old clunker, petrol taxis slowly,
yeah,
slowly going off the roads, and this was a dozen years ago.
yeah.
So when I
So
got here, I got to jump in an EV early, an early Tesla from owned by a guy who's a financer and philanthropist and a name behind a political movement here that I won't give it away, but he's associated with a light blue color, and
what
got
year
to
are we
drive a
talking about?
Tesla.
What year are we up to now?
We're up to 2017,
Yeah,
2018. And yeah, so a fairly, no, I'm not early to the EV game, but yeah, getting in my first Tesla was
yeah,
getting in a spaceship, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, this performance is cool.
yeah,
This feels like a fighter jet.
yeah. I'm amazed. Yeah, the Four Corners, the ABC, which I'm happy to promote. They're doing another expose I just saw as well and they're doing another trip to China. And one of the things I think the journalists are so fascinated about, apart from the number of EVs and the proliferation of EVs, is the quietness, right? It's really quiet, and I think that
It is.
that message came along loud and clear about her experience over there, not just driving an EV for the first time, but how quiet it is now with all the EVs. And yeah, I think it's something we look forward to here as well. I'm looking forward
100%.
to it.
It was a foreign correspondent show. I watched it this morning. Actually,
Yeah,
got shared around my work, and I gave that a watch this morning. And it's
yeah,
absolutely true. I get footage of friends who are over in China saying
yeah,
like, can you believe how quiet this is?
yeah,
And even in my own experience in my suburb out in the eastern Melbourne foothills of the Dandenongs,
yeah,
you get the hoons going by at 2, 3 a.m.,
yeah,
and that's annoying. And you get your young people whipping by on their
yeah,
e-bikes, and you're like, I really hope you don't bust your head, but at least you're
yeah.
quiet. And
We've
that's
got a
okay.
couple of got a couple of questions that about your accent, and so let's give us the 2 minutes back history of where
We can't quite- There you
how you
go.
cross so many borders so quickly. Mm,
Seattle born, raised in New Zealand. If anyone knows Gavin over there in New Zealand,
mm.
we went to rival boarding schools. I'm a St. Paul's boy. He's a St. Peter's boy. He's one of the weird horse people. I'm from the rowing and rugby school. I did neither. So I've been a Kiwi my whole life with this accent, which has been doing weird things to the identity.
It is. It's tricky. It's tricky for most people. Mark and I didn't speak, but it wasn't until I listened to his videos it didn't make sense for me either. But so plenty of comments from everybody about the lack of noise. And again, I take it for granted when people talk about road noise of EVs. It's at the periphery of after you get past engine noise and the fine sounding stereo. But we'll get to that. Finally, you might hear a little bit of road noise from the tires, but yeah, we're cutting straws there. That's for sure. So you were driving what, and what happened, and then how come it took you so long to buy an EV then?
Yeah, good question. I was exposed to them. I knew they were around, but my perception of EVs were, they were 40, 50, $60,000 cars, and that wasn't in my budget. And I didn't need a car. I've been in Melbourne for 10 years. I've had a car and I've used it, but it's always been the weekender or the day trip mobile. The vast majority, I'd say 99% of all the commutes I've done in Melbourne has been a combination of my own 2 feet, train, tram, and bus. The thought of actually driving to work in Melbourne, I can't imagine it. So why spend that much money on any car? Let alone an EV, although that would have been the preference. But the reason why now, well, it was early 2026, and there's some geopolitics going on in the world, and I'm not on this side of the world with this accent by accident. So I just wanted to nope out of being like, well, I hope the petrol price goes down, or there's a big part of me that's a climate person that wants the petrol price to go up. So I and my partner owned a Toyota Echo, and it's like the dream car for the person who bought it from us now. Single female owner for the last 14 years. A very well maintained Toyota Echo, which, as we all know, will run till the heat death of the universe. But you can't replace the fact it's got one airbag, and it's still a 20-year-old car, and will keep needing more and more feeding and watering over time. So
sadly, you probably sold it for more than you bought it for, but that's I don't understand.
Over 14 years, it did well as a petrol car.
Yeah, exactly. And so, coming to what date was the catalyst this year with the petrol spike, or had you moved quicker earlier than that?
No, it really was. It was all post February 18th or whatever the exact date.
Wow.
Of all of this started. Feels like 8 years ago.
Now that's fascinating, because I mean, we've talked about people who have acted like, but I literally haven't met one. So you're the first person who I've actually met and talked to has actually taken the jump at that time and resulted in a. So without teasing too much longer, what did you buy, and let's tell us about the car and why, right?
Yeah, so I bought an Aion. I did it. Yeah, there's my baby. I not only bought a new car, which I always thought was going to be just a ridiculous thing to do. You drive it off the lot, it drops in value. It's a depreciating asset. Why buy a new car? Never had before, never thought I would. But I not only bought a new car, Rosco, I paid extra for a paint color. Like, what a schmuck.
Do you feel how much, just while we're at it, how much extra was the paint?
Absolutely. I'll give you some quick numbers. It was $500 for the paint. Because I got in on the first 600 pricing with GAC, it was $31,590 drive away.
Okay.
Including GST, which I didn't pay because I did a novated lease. And that's including the paint. So that extra $5 in the $590 is just to have an emerald green car. Because I'm from Seattle, I'm from the Emerald City. You got to do it.
I haven't. I'm going to race back and look at configuring the Aions now to see. But it's a nice looking. I've seen one on the road. It's a very nice looking car. There's no doubt about it. It is a good looking car, and I've liked it from the day I saw it as well. And I've seen quite a few around the traps around Sydney roads already, which is always a good sign. If you start seeing these cars, to me, it's sort of more the mini mini size and better mini shape than maybe the Mini could have been for half the price, slightly lower and sleeker. But you tell me about it. Tell me what you've enjoyed so much.
From your lips to BMW's ears, Roscoe, on the Mini. What a beautiful heritage to buy and then do that too.
Yeah,
Um, the in the list of my favorite hatchbacks, the Golf GTRs,
yeah,
your Civics, this is, it is not. I'm not going to put a poster up of it
no,
on my wall, but it's car shaped,
yeah,
and it's not silly. It's got a round steering wheel and normal door handles,
yeah,
which I'm so excited about. So yeah, when I saw it, I was like, "Yep, it's got eyelashes.
mm.
Yep." When you see a group of them, you're like, "That looks like a gaggle of little ducklings
Yeah,
following their mom."
yeah.
They're cute, but honestly, if Toyota did what they should, and I'm
Yeah,
going to go out on a limb here,
mm,
and just made an electric Yaris or an electric
yeah.
Corolla
No, no,
hatch,
no. Yeah,
and it looked like this,
yeah.
they'd sell a million of them. But I think they want to show people that, hey, EVs aren't good yet. Look
Not
at
cheap.
what we make,
Mm.
and I know they're getting better. So my anger at Toyota has diminished over the last 12 months, but it's not extinguished yet, because
I know.
why
Yeah,
is Toyota dragging their heels? So
yeah. I know,
we'll
and
talk about it, Roscoe, right? But sorry, this is the company that makes Toyota
yeah,
in
yeah.
China. They've made Toyotas for 20 years. How can
Okay.
Toyota say, we can't do this?
Yeah, so let's dig back into the brand again, GAC, and again, here's the guy happy to give both the brand and the model and the dealership a bit of a plug here. So again, it took a bit of a risk to get on board with the brand, but probably not if you know, or you're in China and you know the brand and you know what they've done already. So tell us a bit more about the brand GAC and again about the local experience. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, from my time in China, GAC didn't cross my radar, but all of the electric car brands we now know so well
Yeah,
weren't on my radar. So, when I was looking to buy an EV, I absolutely was starting a little bit from scratch. I knew
yeah.
the established players. I knew
Okay.
your American and your European brands. But you go to a car show now, and you're just overwhelmed
Mm,
by the number of Chinese brands,
mm.
and you know that this number of brands is greater than it will be in 5 years. So when I was looking to buy a car, buying a new car,
Mm.
I was taking a risk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I looked at what was in the category. I did not want an SUV. I don't have a family.
Mm.
I don't have kids. I'm
Yeah.
not looking for a vehicle that's any bigger than I need it to be.
Yeah.
So I wanted a hatchback. I looked at what was available in that category, and just on paper,
Yeah.
the Aion UT has a 60 kilowatt hour battery.
Mm.
That's double the size of some of the other ones in this category, or
Yeah.
or a third.
Yeah.
And it's got a stonkingly big motor. It's
Yeah.
it's double the size of the entry level EX2 that launched 6 months after this one did.
And I think, and the
So
Seal's got, yeah, the 30 grand models is not even close. It's a 45 kilowatt battery, something like that, isn't it? Maybe
yeah,
not
I
even
gotta say,
close.
I was excited about the Atto one when they announced it, and then I kind of saw it, and I'm like, I don't want a Lamborghini hatchback.
Look, I don't even see the Lamborghini styling. I mean, it's
I'm
not
being
one of my
generous
favorite
then.
designs. I like BYD. We like all EVs, but it's not one of my favorites, and I can't even see the Lamborghini influence that's been portrayed on the front. It is a. We just got one question. It's just confirming it's a rear wheel drive, yeah, as well.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, sorry, apologies. No, it's not.
Okay.
It is not a rear-wheel drive, but
Yeah.
having
Okay.
driven the MG4, having
Mm.
driven some other cars, I personally do not notice the difference, and I
No.
drive
No.
mountain roads. I wasn't looking for a driver's car. I
No.
like
No.
driving slow cars fast rather than
Yeah.
fast cars slow.
For a smaller car, for a smaller compact, front wheel drive's been the norm for 20, 30 years now. And so I wouldn't probably expect anything less given the size of the car as well. So the
Yeah.
dealership here again, let's finish the GAC story. So you discovered the
Yeah.
car, then work backwards to the brand. What did you satisfy yourself that that was going to provide you the support and the given that you were buying a new car for the first time?
Yeah, so I sort of found the car on paper, found the specs, then did a bit of research into the brand,
Yeah.
learned about their more than 20-year joint venture history with
Yeah.
Toyota and Honda. They've just surpassed 30 million vehicles produced, and they broke that record in the last couple weeks.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
30.
I've satisfied myself they're not a fly-by-night.
Yeah.
And then saw that there was a GAC dealership just down the road. So that photo before,
Mm.
shout out to Thomas there. That is a Nissan GAC dealership at Ferntree Gully.
Yeah.
I went down, did a test drive. Tom just said, look, take it out for an hour, take it out for 2, take it for as long as you want. I drove up the mountains. I drove to my partner's work. I gave her a call. I said, do you want to go for a drive? She came out of work. We took it for a drive. I went back. I put my deposit down.
Yeah.
It was the right car on paper, and then it was the right car after going for a drive.
Yeah.
And I was reassured that the silly thing of buying a new car was less silly than it could have been, because at least I was satisfied I'd done my due diligence,
Yeah.
and I hopefully won't regret it.
Oh, it's good to get a good dealership experience. So shout out to them as well. Yeah, they'll be selling more GACs than there would be Nissans probably at the moment as well. So they'd be happy to have it. It's amazing the number of new dealerships that have popped up with the new Chinese brands. So clearly they feel like they're going to get some support. I've sort of reverse engineered it about whether they'll be there and whether they're supportive, and the number of dealerships that have taken on multi-franchise situations with the new Chinese brands clearly means that whatever the promise was from China about service and after sales and warranty, they are satisfied that that's going to be delivered. Otherwise, they wouldn't put their brand up and risk it. So I've sort of reverse engineered an argument to prove that it's going to be there. And particularly GAC, it is, there's state owned and there's privately owned. We looked at Xpeng before as a privately owned investment tech led company. GAC is a state owned, one of the regional type state owned car companies, which has been for a long time. And as you mentioned before, they are building Toyotas in China. Yeah, that's what I heard you say? Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, that joint venture with Toyota is over 20 years old.
Yeah. Okay. So not only are they a state back, which again leads us to, do you think this car is spying on you or not? Mm.
I already lived in China for 2 years, Roscoe, and
They know.
I know someone's spying on me all the time.
They are you a spy? Are you a spy? Are you a double agent? That's the other question.
I can confidently say that it makes it more interesting if I answer that evasively.
Okay, because no double agent's going to admit to the fact that they're a double agent, are they?
Double passport, if not double agent.
All right, okay. Have you got a Kiwi passport still? I've still got one.
I do indeed. Yeah.
I got Australian. You got American and Kiwi and Australian.
American Kiwi. Here's a Kiwi. So
Brilliant.
I better not get caught doing anything bad.
Okay. And of course, look, along comes with that is actually the car itself. We've got a couple of questions about the physical dials and the buttons. And again, I haven't got any. We've got a bit on the inside. We haven't done it. This is not a full review. We're not trying to pull the car apart and put it back together. Check out Mark's channel, which I'll show you the details later on. We'll do a plug for him. He started his own YouTube channel to promote this car and his experiences and his joy of owning it already. So we'll talk a bit more about that. But is there a problem, do you think, with buttons or no buttons? Yeah.
So the car itself has buttons. They are all on the wheel, and there is 2 kind of programmable shortcut buttons on the. I must stress this: the steering wheel, which is a circle. Hard to find, very valuable, at least to me. So no, everything else is through the screen, but there is the HVAC it's always there. I've had no issues with it. I'm not sure if that's because I was born in 1990 and screens make sense to me. The door handles are handles that you can open and close the windows with normal, all the other stuff. I don't touch it enough for it to be a big deal.
Yeah, this is you sitting back with the seat back in very relaxed mode for a start.
Camping mode, yes. And I was complaining that I couldn't put anything on that screen, that aforementioned big, beautiful screen. But I will be testing later in the year one of those little third-party devices that let you have, turn your car into a cinema. Who needs a drive-through when the car itself is the cinema?
I know one thing I did catch in listening to part of your video was how thrilled you were that the steering wheel was round and solid, and it looked like a steering wheel and felt like a steering wheel. So I'm impressed that you're impressed.
Simple minds, simple pleasures, Rosco. But I can drive like I want to drive.
Yeah,
which is with a round steering wheel.
And it's easy, and it's easy to park, and it's easy to drive, and it's quick enough to be quick enough, and it gets you from A to B. And what's your setup in terms of charging? Did you end up doing anything at home or not?
So I've gone very, very basic. So I've had the car now since June 12th. It came with the level 1 granny charger. I've got a PowerPoint just by the front door. I take it out a window. I charge overnight. I've currently spent $2 on public charging. And that was at a Jolt charger, where it was $2 to start the session and you get 7 kilowatt hours free. So everything else, all of my driving, and I've done 2,500 Ks since June 12th. So it's nothing on Stan. No, I don't want to steal any valor from Stan and his big lap, but all of my charging's been at home.
And another question about, do you know who's supplying the batteries for the UT?
I'm willing to bet they're not from Norway. It's one of the big Chinese companies, whether that's CATL or whomever. Watch Dave's video, who you had on a couple of weeks ago. He did a really good breakdown of the battery tech in it, their magazine battery. I was reassured learning things I didn't know about that battery.
I know. Check out Beyond EV with Dave Crockett. We've had him on as well. He's the BYD expert, branching out into other cars. He's done a fantastic review, a very comprehensive review. But check out also Mark's details as well. He's done more driving stuff already. And again, to the extent where, you've already got the community together in a short space of time in Melbourne, the UT community.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not a reviewer. I'm an owner of one EV, and that's what I do. And really, I started the channel for reasons we'll talk about. But I started with this content because there was a gap in the market. The UT is out. It's available. It's compelling. It's a great value for the price. So those videos have done really well, predominantly in the Philippines. Looking at the stats of it. They're just starting to get this car. They're curious what it's like. And I wanted to meet the other people who were, taking this risk on a new to Australia brand. So I just jumped on the UT Facebook group and I said, hey, who wants to do cars and coffee? And I got, there was 6 cars on the day.
It's beautiful. No, I know. Just like that.
Happy smiling faces. We'll do more. I want to do some group drives. It's a good way to meet people. And they're the ones now telling me all about, oh, you can get this deal on these floor mats or this deal on the ceramic paint protection and all the stuff I'm not going to do. But if I was curious, they're doing the research for me. So thanks, guys.
Sensei thinks you might be related to Dave Crockett, but no relation. So.
I can honestly say that I'm not related to either Davy Crockett or David Crockett.
Okay, that's right.
To the best of my knowledge.
That is brilliant. But you've done some other work in the social media. We'll jump to Mark's YouTube channel if you want to follow him. We've got your subscriber base on board tonight, Mark. We've got 27 on board watching, which is a record for us. So you must have brought your crew with us. So everyone subscribe to the Happy Warrior, and then we can double your subscriber base tonight as well. We can do that in reverse. How's that sound? Everybody who's watching, subscribe to Mark right now, and because we have
a win-win,
and hopefully it'll be a win-win. Would you recommend the Aion? Sorry, I've got to learn to say it properly. Aion.
It's their fault. They put an A in it, Rosco. It's not your fault at all. The Aion UT. If you're look, I wanted to say this after you came back from the news, and I'm looking at all of these cars.
Congratulations again.
I bought a new car, even though there's cheaper cars available secondhand that might even be better on paper. I did the thing.
I know.
So would I recommend you buy this? If you're buying a new car, I'd recommend this one if it ticks your boxes. But for normal people, I'd say go to Amazing EV and buy an amazing secondhand EV.
Thank you, Mark. Much appreciated. Good to see you, and we look forward to catching up again with more information, more updates about the Aion UT and the rest of the Aion range. And again, look, can't see anything going wrong with it. Can't see any servicing. Can't see any running costs that's going to break the bank. It's a perfect car to drive around. I like them. I like the shape of it. I'm on board with it as well. Take that button off, Ross. Yeah, I know. I'm getting shit from somebody about the applause.
You're doing great, Ross.
But I thought it was worth going again. There's Mark's channel. Take another look. There'll be details in the description down below. But hey, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it, Mark, and look forward to some more stories and more travels. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Rosco. Thanks, Mrs. Amazing.
That was Mark, and look, owner of an Aion UT, one of my favorite new small EVs, and he obviously loves it as well. So great to see the people jumping on board. I think that's going to be one of the best sellers in that range as well. On looks, on features, on driving, just on everything. So great price, and look forward to seeing those on the used car market as well. I think there's going to be a few of those around. Thanks everybody for joining me. Well, thanks Joe, thanks Sensei, thanks Hal. Lots of news, lots of guests. Thanks everybody. 27 record. Shout out next time. There's plenty of banter going on. I'm Rosco. We'll take you out with some more cars on Amazing EV tonight. And if you stay with us, there might be a link through the Ludicrous feed later at 9 o'clock. I'm Rosco, and we'll catch you next time.